Okay. So here is a photo taken by Edward Muybridge, first published in 1887 at Philadelphia. So this image or other media file is in public domain because its copyright has expired. Okay. So if you can see here, it is not just a plain image. Rather, this image portrays a motion. There is a movement. Okay. So there are two main categories of animation. We have a computer-assisted animation, 2D and 2 and 1/2 D. In betweening, there is inking, virtual camera, managing data, etc. And there is also a computer-generated animation where there is low-level techniques, precisely specifying motion, and high-level techniques, which describes general motion behavior. Okay, so if you will gonna see the two example images here, when you say computer-assisted animation is, yes, there is a movement of object, but the object is, there is a touch of drawing. So computer-generated animation is, makikita mo talaga that it is in 2D. I mean, it is in 3D. So may kaibahan yung dalawa when it comes to presenting the image and performing that image into movement in a form of animation. For the low-level techniques, okay, there is shape interpolation and in-betweening. You have to know what you want. For example, here is a boy. This boy is grabbing something, maybe a thing, but kung titingnan mo, if you will apply an animation in the image, you will see that the hands are moving, the other hand is also moving, and there is a variety of angle for the image in order for it to move. For the high-level techniques, it generates motion with set of rules or constraints, meaning it is physically based on motion. So imagine this one. This is parang a round thing. It is in 3D. The color is in gray. Okay. So if you will gonna base your perspective in the image, ang unang-unang mong makikita na papasok na idea sa'yo is nahulog itong maybe it is a glassware or it is a plasticware, it is a food container, nahulog and then it bounced on the floor. Bounce in a form that it touches the floor and then it moves again upward, bounce again, and then moves forward. So there is some motion. For the heritage of animation, if we will gonna go back on the maybe on the era wherein there is no computer generated assisted motion, in 1800s there is a Zoe trap or wheel of life. This one. So noon, para maka-generate sila ng animation is umiikot itong wheel of life. So there is a drawing here and yung drawing niya may improvement or may development pagdating sa kanyang transition. Okay, so ganun ang animation noon. Kung mapapansin nyo dito, okay, there is a development when it comes to level 1 movement, level 2, level 3, hanggang sa ma-reach niya yung pinaka-goal na nakapag-move yung isang object. So animation is an art. It is an art in a form that there is a touch of drawing, and that drawing gives life, okay? Gives life to the character. So animation as an art form, the first animated character with personality is Felix the Cat by Otto Mesmer in 1920s. It forced to reckon with sound and Walt Disney. Disney, alam naman natin that Disney, matagal na yan. So nag-evolve yung image ni Disney in a form na yung mas kilala niyo na siya ngayon, wherein it is in 3D, cute siya, the colors are refined. But noon, okay, ito yung pinaka-itsura ni Disney. Okay? It is in the year 1928 where the Steamboat Willie, doon na conceptualize yung itsura ni Mickey noon. So this is Walt Disney. Okay? So si Walt Disney, alam naman natin yan na he is the founder. Okay? He created, of course, the Disney's animated pictures. So during in the late 1920s through the 1930s, Walt Disney worked to improve the techniques of his studio animators. Disney set up drawing classes for his animators at the Chouinard, okay, Art Institute in Los Angeles under instructor Don Graham. Through these lessons and interactions between Disney and his staff, a set of 12 principles was developed. These principles were used in Disney animated productions including Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi. So the first principle is the Squatch and Stretch. Ano ba itong Squatch and Stretch? Squash means leaving flesh distortions during motion. So mapapansin ninyo, okay, when you will gonna apply transition doon sa drawing and portray that drawing that it is moving, of course, you have to make that image somewhat distorted. Parang ito. Makatotohanan kasi na ang image ng circle is, kung nasa air siya, of course, is hindi mo hawak yung, kumbaga, yung angle niya. So, may times na if you are at the front view, kung makikita mo yung ball na nahulog, habang nasa taas siya is hindi siya, of course, perfect circle. Kasi may movement. So, paglapag niya dito, at pag-bounce niya, of course, yung bouncing kasi, if this is somewhat inflated ball, okay? Pag inflated ball yan, ibig sabihin, pag makikita mo na inflated ball na bumagsak, mataas ang bounce. Unlike kung talagang bagay yan na matigas, na circle, okay? Mahirap yung ma-deform kasi nga, hindi naman siya inflated. So pag bumagsak yan, hindi siya nagbabounce kadalasan. So makikita mo dito sa animation nito, may idea ko. Habang nakikita mo tong animation, that the circle is inflated, meaning it is soft, so that it can bounce higher. While it is soft, meaning there is a chance that it can be deformed. So dito, eto na yun. Eto na yung image na pinoportray niya that this circle has a soft characteristic. It is somewhat inflated because it bounced higher. Okay? So, ganun ang animation. You have to portray something into your audience that this image has a certain character in it that explains why it achieved such motion. Number 2. Okay, so that is the example. You can screenshot this one. You can visit the site if you want. And then number 2 is anticipation. So in anticipation, animation can occur before an action. Before you jump, you bend your knee. Okay. So animation is, okay, hindi mo naman pwedeng i-drawing lang ang isang bagay na, for example, it is a living thing. Paano siya nakapag-jump kung yung kwan lang niya, kung yung paa lang niya is straight, di ba? Okay. Ibig sabihin niyan, ini-integrate mo yung human nature ng isang physical object or physical object na living thing na ang nature niya is para siya makapag-jump, kailangan mag-bend yung knee. So, kailangan i-portray mo yun para realistic yung animation mo. So, by exaggerating this action, the animator can guide the viewer's eyes. Importante kasi na pag gumagawa ka ng animation, hindi ka lang basta nagdo-drawing. Kailangan pag-aralan mo kung ano yung dapat na character behavior ng dinodrawing mo. Like, for example, this one. If your subject is a frog, okay, you have to know and you have to learn what are the characteristics of a frog that lets it jump high and move into the swamp. The formula for most animations is anticipation, action, and reaction. By knowing this anticipation, action, and reaction is you have to learn the background of the character that you want to animate with. So this is a normal unexaggerated pose. Okay? This is a slightly exaggerated pose. We all know naman that in animation, lalo na if you're creating a cartoon character, a cartoon animation is mas effect at mas maganda, mas catchy sa audience kung exaggerated yung action. Okay? Kasi parang napaka-timid ng isang character kung hindi naman siya exaggerated. Kasi ang mga bata, ang ina-anticipate nila is yung action dun sa character na pinoportray eh. Katulad dito. Okay? So, when there is an anticipation and the action, lagyan mo ng exaggeration so that dun sa angle ng movement is makita talaga na may movement. Hindi lang konting effort for the movement. So there is a certain way wherein you have to exaggerate the movement of the character you will gonna portray. Number 3 is staging. So staging is the clear presentation of an idea. An animator can use the camera viewpoint. Kung ikaw. Kasi ito, pag nag-drawing ka and you want to apply or gusto mong applyan ng motion, yung dinodrawing mo is, titingnan mo of course, saan nakaharap yung mga character. Okay? So you are imagining that nandito yung camera. Nasa harapan ba? Nasa gilid ba? Nasa top ba? Okay. So when you say staging is, you have to position the characters to create a feeling or strengthen the understanding and then engage the characters to your audience. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito, there is a poor and good staging. Poor staging ito, paano siya naging poor staging? And bakit ito ay good staging? Please comment your insights sa chat box and I will read. Okay, para may interaction tayo sa klase natin ngayon at makita ko or mabasa ko yung reactions ninyo. Okay? So comment on the chat box, bakit poor staging ito and good staging yung isa. Okay? Kindly comment, please. I'll be waiting. Okay, so because the bad staging doesn't let us see the actions of the character portraying. Okay. Okay, angle then. Very good. How about the others? So this one is, mas kita po yung galaw. Okay, pwede rin. Any other? It expresses some kind of emotion. Okay. Okay, so very good yung mga insight nyo dito, no? At least you have that kind of idea that this one, at least may impact itong lesson natin. Nagkakaroon kayo ng idea on what is a poor staging and good staging. Very good yan. So ito, in my explanation and based from the explanation of the course, this one is poor staging. Bakit? Kasi naka-side view, although naka-side view yung mga characters, is hindi mo malaman kung, okay, hindi mo malaman kung this one is a hand and this one also is a hand. So, of course, makikita mo na they are conversing, ano? Parang sila, nag-explain on each other. But, dito kasi, kaya siya na-consider na poor staging kasi hindi mo makita yung emotion dun sa mga mukha nila, and at the same time, hindi nagke-create ng malaking impact dahil nakita mo lang na yung, of course, nakita mo lang yung kamay niya is medyo umangat, ano? Pero hindi mo masabi na nag-uusap sila or yung parang message na kino-convey sa audience is hindi ganun ka-effective dahil yes, they are conversing, pero the emotion is not that revealed completely. Unlike in the good staging is you can see the emotions. This one is medyo half angry siya and this one is parang medyo kalmado na nakikinig. Okay, so makikita mo dito sa good staging that this one, siya yung pinaka-dominant character na nag-e-explain. And the other one is maybe inaangat nga niya yung kamay niya pero para siyang nakikinig. So, in this staging, you cannot see here who is the listener and who is speaker. Dito sa good staging, makikita mo kaagad who is the speaker and who is the listener. Okay? So that is animation. There is a in staging kasi, ipoportray mo sa audience yung message na gusto mong i-portray that they are conversing. Okay? There is somewhat an interaction between the characters. Okay? So that is staging. So another one, in this one, makikita mo rin, it shows secondary actions. This one, no, I'm not angry at you. No, I'm not angry at you. But makikita mo that their emotions is somewhat disturbed or somewhat irritated. Okay? So, good staging is by just merely looking at the image or the characters is you are portraying to the audience that there is a message. That is animation. Another one. Number 4 is straight ahead versus pose to pose. What is straight ahead animation? It means drawing the frames in sequence. This leads to spontaneous motion. Pose to pose is more often used animation technique. Pose to pose is used for animation that requires good acting where the poses and timing are important, like here. Okay, so here makikita mo dito, yes, the character, he will gonna pick the ball in a matter of 5 seconds. By picking the ball, he will throw again the ball. Okay? So, nagkaroon ka ng transition between 1 to 30 seconds that the object interacts with another object in a form of a ball, and that interaction is pick and throw. Okay? So that is straight ahead versus pose or poise to poise. Next is follow through and overlap. Follow through is the action that follows the main action. It is the opposite of anticipation. When a baseball bat hits the baseball, it does not stop abruptly. A boxer does not freeze at the moment a punch lands. So overlapping action means that all elements do not stop at the same time. Overlapping action also means that a new action may begin before the earlier action is terminated. When hitting a baseball, the legs may begin moving to first base while the bat is finishing the swing, just like this one. So there is a 4 facets of animation. We have the anticipation, the action, settle, and follow through. Okay? Just like this one. The rabbit punches the dog, but upon punching it, okay, kumuha muna siya ng anticipation or ng buwelo. And then pagka-punch, syempre hindi naman dun nag-stop. Babalik siya dun sa talagang pinaka main action niya before niya pinunch yung dog. So, when you say 4 facets of animation is, there is an action involved, but you have to portray also that after that action is being done, okay, dapat realistically, babalik siya dun sa dati. Or yung movement niya is parang nag-lessen yung force applied. Okay? So that is the half of the 12 principles of animation. I hope next meeting, samahan niyo ulit ako sa remaining half of the principles of animation. Okay?